Alright, everyone, as promised, welcome to YX Soul. We have an original recipe that we made together. On my affiliate channel, I started to talk about it, but I want to announce it here. It's your boy Vikerman, aka Vike himself. That's VYK Vike. And check it out. We have an original recipe. Okay. I actually turned it up on purpose. Alright. Now, this recipe. Ready? This recipe is called Sweet Home Oregon. The reason why it's called Sweet Home Oregon is for very special reasons. There's more than one reason, right? But it's such a fire ass name, bro. Bruv. Sis. Twin. Dog. Like, this recipe consists of, I particularly used this onion powder today. I used this garlic salt. I used this Creole seasoning. Some ground cayenne. We used some Cajun together. Now these last two ingredients might trip you out, bruh. Okay? So as I flip these, I just want y'all to think about those ingredients. Kind of like think about. So, oh yeah, by the way, this is ground beef patties. It was ground beef patties that I split up. This is my third time doing this recipe, to be fair. The first time I explored this recipe was with Vesica Darkest, our little brother. And you know how much we all love him, so that was cool. And he doesn't really eat meat, but it was cool. He was excited that I was excited about a new thing that I learned to do seemingly on my own. But it was kind of like one of those impromptu things. And so, okay, have you thought about everything? We used all those ingredients, these last two ingredients. So we got the ground beef patties that I split up with my hands and put in there. This is my third time doing this recipe. The first time we did it with yellow pepper and the same ground beef patties too. Then second time yesterday or the other day we did two ground beef patties and turn it off. Ground beef patties and green pepper and broccoli of all the veggies. So like lots of green. Loved it. Had so much broccoli I had to throw away the rest this morning. I looked at my inside the green pan and I was like, girl, like there was still broccoli left and green peppers, and I'm like, I was sad to throw it away, but I left it overnight. That was my fault. So okay. And then today we used red peppers, right? Because we had 3 peppers, ground beef patties, ripped apart, not cut up, I guess, but we did use the knife. I like to use the knife to get the blood out, especially if I'm not cooking it the way I like to cook burgers usually, or the way I was brought up cooking burgers in the South. And most likely a lot of other places you cook it over open flame. The blood drips out. It's healthier that way. So the last two ingredients, if you haven't been at the edge of your seat by now, for Sweet Home Oregon, Sam Vol, aka Volinsky himself, aka Chef Sam Vol, aka Vol on a roll. Sweet Home Oregon consists of all the ingredients that we talked about earlier in ground cinnamon, and some maple syrup, which I'm not using maple syrup. I started, so in my head, oh, this is funny, right? In my head, I'm like, oh, when I got in the kitchen. And so, I'm like, whatever. Sometimes bouginess got to be put to the side, baby. Let me stop. Why is it bougie to want some maple syrup, including and not excluding, or whatever, however you want to word it, Canadian maple syrup, right? Mm. Or Vermonter, or Vermont maple syrup. Mm-mm-mm. You know, or what about, oh my goodness, maple syrup from all over the world? What? Is that possible though? Like with the maple tree doesn't grow everywhere. Okay, but that's it, y'all. That's it for YXL. This is like big because we just came up with an original recipe across all the channels, honestly. Because it really started on XYZador. Oh my god. Because like it started on XYZador when we were talking trash and having a blast with Vesica Darkest. And we just so happened to do it as we were going along. Then I think I did it again. I didn't record all of it, but I got a little something the other day and talked about the meal that I made, right? And then today, last but not least, oh, right. But then today, last but not least, I started recording on Crest, QREZT, if you're not familiar with Crest, our community health channel. And I thought to myself, hey, I would like to announce this recipe here first on YXO. Because we focus on the community health and stuff, on Crest, QREZT. So Crest is spelled Q like queer, like me, R like Rachel, E like Eric, Z like zebra, or Psalm like how I spell Psalmvol, or Zig Seraphim, our music channel. So QREZ, and then T like Tickle or Terry or Terrence or Tasha, my cousin, and countless other friends and people that I've met named Tasha. Okay? So check that out. The suspense is probably gonna kill everyone. Oh, bad choice of words. Suspense is gonna keep everyone like, at the edge of their seat. But I will eventually, I think it would be effed up if I did not talk about it, like, on that channel. So I'll do that now. Okay? Much love. Peace.